It's G51651. So here's the colors. There are 6 colors. It's the dark colors, the fast giant dipping powder, and including the 4 pieces dip glue system. The first one, the number 1 base, and the number 2 the activator, the number 3 the top, and the number 4 the brush saver. It's the 12 milliliter. So here's the colors for this kit, including 6 pieces, very dark colors suitable for the autumn or winter. So today our nail technician is wearing this color number core 99. So if you have the interest, you could buy this kit. And today we're going to share with you how to make the zebra stripes, the nails designs. So it's super easy to make it. Let's go. And for this kit, actually, you could buy this. It's with 6 pieces, the fast giant dipping powder, and the 4 pieces dip glue. If you have it, you could have so many things to make it. If you want the nail tubes, you could buy our dip powder accessories kit. So here's the color. Today we use another, the cord GH number 108. It's the black color. And here's the white color. It's called number 2. It's from G641. It's the number 2 French white. And another color is the dark gray. It's called number 93. So today we select 3 basic colors to make the designs. The white color, black color, and the gray color. So we are going to make the simple look and very fabulous designs to make the zebra stripes. So we're going to do the balm, using the balm prepads to dry the nail bed. So actually you could buy this from our dip powder accessories kit. Because for our nail, the mothers is wearing the fake nails, but if your natural nails, you must be using the balm after you remove any oil or shine by the nail buffer. So actually, if you have the balm or primer at home, you could use them. Because after using the primer or the balm, the powder will more stick with your nails, and for the designs, your nails will more long lasting. So here's the number 1 base. So prepare your number 1 base, and we're going to do the designs right now. First, we chose this finger. We need to brush the base to your entire nail. But do not let the base to get on your cuticle skin, because where the base is and the powder will stay with. Prepare the white powder and dip your finger 45-degree angle and dip into the color powder. Stay for a second and take out. And using a brush to help to brush off any excess. We need to brush the base for the second layer to your entire nail. Just brush evenly and dip into the powder. Let it stay for a second, absorb well with the dip glue. And going to tap off. And it's better to use the brush to help to brush off any excess powder. So normally for the powders, we do 2 coats is enough. And so you could using, because our fast giant dipping powder, it could be dried within 30 seconds. So we could use the buffer to do the slightly buffing right now, because later we are going to paint the zebra stripes on this nail plate to do the designs. So we just show you these fingers first. After 2 times of the white powder, we must be using a nail buffer to do a small buffings on the nail plate, because we want the nail plate more smooth. Later we are going to paint the zebra stripes on. And for this nail buffer, actually you could buy this from our dip powder accessories kit too. So brush off any excess dust or any excess powder. We take out the gel top coat because later we're going to use in the painting gel, so we need to use the gel top coat. First, we need to brush a very thin layer to cover the surface because we want the surface more smooth. Later we're going to paint the zebra stripes on this finger, this nail. So very thin layer of the gel top coat just to cover the surface to make it more smooth. And we're going to use a UV lamp for curing around 10 seconds is enough. So do not wait too long, just 10 seconds is enough. The surface might be a little bit sticky, but it is smooth enough. And we prepare the painting gel. So today we're going to use the black painting gel to make the zebra. We need to prepare one very teeny painting brush. For today's the brush, we use very teeny one. For the head, the brush head is very teeny because we are going to paint it. So first, we from anywhere, you just make it a little bit with angle, and we need to make the lines with wider side, and another side is the fine side, and just put it different angles to print. Just line the zebra stripes. So first, you need to pick the painting gel, the black painting gel, and going to paint the lines with angle just randomly. If you do not have any imagine in your mind that you could search one picture and you could copy it, but it's super easy to make it. First, make a line, but you must be using very tiny brush. So make one line, very long lines first, and using your brush to paint another short line. For the lines, we could make it more wider and with very fine size. As you can see, we chose around 20% of the long line and to paint another short lines and make it just like the zebra stripes. The reason why we chose the teeny painting brush because it's more easy to control how to make it well, how to paint its more natural look. So first, we must be to use the very tiny painting brush first, and then to paint one long line and two long lines, and to paint another short line. Another short line just to connect the two lines. I think it's around 20% or the middle of the long lines that will make it more natural. Looks like the zebra stripes. So actually it's super easy to paint. But first you must be to prepare one very tiny, very thin brush. So for the bottom, the edge of the nails, you could just make it more randomly, so it looks gorgeous. And for the times for curing, we need to for curing around 1 minute because we want it more stick with your nails. It's just like the normal gel polish. We need to wait around 1 minute to let it dry. So did you learn how to paint the zebra stripes on your nails? It's super easy because we're going to make another fingers later. If you do not, you miss this part, Later we have another fingers to show you again. And for now, after the painting, we need to wait around 1 minute to let the painting gel get dry. And later we're going to cover with the top coat, the gel top coat. And for the curing times, I want to remind you, if you want to make the zebra stripes, we suggest you prepare one teeny painting brush. Okay, after 1 minute, we're already done. So for these fingers, for the zebra stripes already finished, we need to use the gel top coat to protect it. Because for this fast drying dipping powder, the white powder is the super white powder. You could buy this from our fast drying dipping powder. The item number called G641, and actually for G641 is kind of the French powder kit. You could buy this kit and you could get this super white powder. And actually we use so many white powders as the basic color, and we could do many designs based on the French white powders. So now for these powders, it's called number 2, the French white color. Okay, so we're going to cure in the 1 minute to let the gel top coat get dried. The reason why we show you these fingers first, because today's topic is the zebra stripes. We're going to make the animal print nail art. And for this kind of the nail design, actually it's very suitable for the young girls and go to the prom or the party. Or if you go out for the travel, that you have this kind of the nails too. It's super easy to make. Here's the designs. So we're going to make another fingers. So as I mentioned, for the basic color, we use the French white powder, the number 2 French white. So first, we must be to use the number 1, the base. The number 1 base, we must be to brush evenly and dip into the powders. And brush off any excess. So every time while you brush off the excess powder, here's the necessary part. Because first, you do not want your brush to get dirty. And another, you do not want the surface is bumpy or uneven. So must be to brush off any excess powder. And for our fast drying dipping powder, the powder is with full pigment. Actually, we suggest to do 2 coats is enough. And normally for the short nails, we do not suggest to use the clear powder as the first layer. But if your nails are long and you want your nail looks more thick, that you could use the nature powder as the first layer. For the nature powder, actually you could buy this from our dip powder accessories kit. Okay, after 2 times of the color, we need to wait around 30 seconds, because for our powder is the fast drying dipping powder. We do not need to use any activator to make it dry. So now we do the buffing directly by the nail buffer. Just slightly buffing because we want the surface more smooth. As I mentioned, we need to do the painting on this nail plate. So first, we must make sure your nail plate is smooth enough. So after the buffing, we must brush off any excess and take out the gel top coat. For the gel top coat, we need to cover with 1 layer on the surface, very thin layer. Do not to apply too much more the gel top coat. And to put your fingers into the UV lamp for curing around 10 seconds. So time's up. We need to take it out. And so we're going to prepare the painting brush and the painting gel. As I mentioned, I suggest you prepare one teeny painting brush. And actually for the zebra stripes, it's super easy to make it. First, you need to press it a little bit to make the lines more wider. And just to move it with very fine lines. So one head is the wider lines and another head is the very fine lines. Just paint one very long lines and later we're going to select the 20% or the middle of the long lines with the very soft lines. I think for this kind of the zebra, the animal print nail art is super easy to make and super easy to follow. Just paint the lines with angles, very long lines. Because the teeny brush, you could control it well. And using the very short lines to connect to long lines and to make the designs looks more fit for the zebra stripes. We must be to using the painting brush first. If you want here's one tips. If you want the lines more wider, that's you just press a little bit of your painting brush, and it will be pick more volume of the painting gel. But if you want to paint the lines more fine, that you just to paint it very fast. So remember this kind of the rule when you're doing this kind of the designs. Very long line first, and select part of them to paint the short lines. Just look like the letter called Y, but this kind of the Y are different. It's not normal. Just looks like very letters, and you just make it more later looks. Okay. So we already done the painting and put your finger into the UV lamp for curing 1 minute. So during this 1 minute, I want to share with you for this kit. For today's kit, we called G651. For the G651, including 6 pieces, the dark color. And actually for the dark color, it's very suitable for the winter season or the autumn season. Because for the clothes we wear, it's kind of the dark colors. And for this kind of the colors, to make it look more suitable and it's profitable for this kind of the season. So for today's designs, we select another powders called French White from G641. And actually, you have any interest for this kind of the kits, you could join into our Facebook group. We have so many tutorials there. So after 10 minutes, 6 seconds, 60 seconds, we're going to take it out and brush one layer of the gel top coat. So for the gel top coat, actually, this kind of the gel top coat is the no white gel top. So you do not need to use any liquid whites to wipe it off any alcohol or any. So for this time, we need to wait around another 1 minute too. And later we are going to using the black color, and another color is called 93. It's the gray color for another fingers. And for this kind of the zebra stripes, so did you learn that how to make it? If you have any questions or suggestions, you just contact with us. That's we could share with you some experience how to make it well. And actually, we already done so many live streams, and actually you can find many kind of the now designs. And for this zebra stripes, here's our first try. Okay, so here's the designs. So for next finger, we're going to use the number 93, this gray color. First is the same step. We need to use the base, the number 1 base. For every time we remind you, when you apply the base to your entire nail, we must be brushed evenly to avoid when you dip it into the powder, then it will be getting bumpy or uneven. And before you using the powder, I suggest you to do the shaking of the powders too. Using any nail tips or nail stick to stir the powder well to avoid it sticking together. For the fast drying dipping powder kits, for the colors, the solid colors, we suggest to do 2 applications is enough. And for this color, it's the dark gray, the number 93. So we need to brush the base evenly to your entire nail. It's kind of the very important steps if you do not want your nail surface get bumpy or uneven. And for the colors, we suggest for doing the 2 coats is enough. For every layer, between every layer, we must be brush off any excess for the last layer, the excess powder. And going to tat off. So for this finger, we're going to do the horseshoe. So after around 30 seconds, you could do the slightly buffings on the nails. Because for our fast drying dipping powder, the powders could be dry by itself. So when you're using our fast drying dipping powders, you do not need to worry. The temperature will affect the powder's drying speed. So here's our highlights. For our highlights of our fast drying dipping powders. So no matter what temperature at home, you could to do the filing and buffing directly after 30 seconds. So it's saving your time. And you could get very easy but perfect nail looks. For these 2 fingers, we're going to do the horseshoe, to paint the horseshoe. So after the small buffings, we need to using the lengthy wipe to wipe off. To wipe off any excess dust. So we need to prepare the gel top coat. It's the same as the last one. We must be using a gel top coat to cover your nail plate because we want it more smooth, because later we are going to using the painting gel and paint the horseshoe on this nails. very thin layer of the gel top coat. It just the weight why we select the gel top coat because we want the surface more smooth. Okay, after the gel top coat with a thin layer, we need to wait around 10 seconds for curing time. And now we need to prepare the painting brush. It's the same painting brush, still the teeny one. The teeny brush, we need to paint the horseshoe there. So as you can see, we're using the painting brush and paint 3 different or 4 different dots. But this kind of the dots with the shot. It's not the round dot. Just randomly, it's very easy. Just control your brush and shake it a little bit. Okay, we turn to another fingers. Just using the teeny brush and pick the painting gel and just paint it randomly on your nails. So if you ask me how to make it, I just want to tell you, just make it randomly on the nails. It's very easy. But I just say for this color, this number 93 is very suitable for the black colors. This kind of the combines is gorgeous. So when you paint it, just put your painting brush randomly on the nails. So we already let the nail models to put their fingers, 2 fingers into the UV lamp together. We are saving the times for the curing time. So no matter which layer of the painting gel, we must be to let the nails, the fingers, to put it into the UV lamp for curing around around 1 minute to make it dry. And after the painting gel, after the designs, we need to use a gel top coat to cover with your designs. So here's the long way we want to share with you for today's topics of the powder kits is the G651. For the G651 is the dark color powder kit. It's very suitable for the winter season. So after the 1 minute for curing times, we need to prepare the gel top coat. For the gel top coat, we need to protect the design. And another fingers together. We need to put these 2 fingers together. So today's animal prints nail arts. Did you learn anything? Especially for the zebra stripes. So actually, we need to sum up some small tips for you. When you're doing this kind of the nail arts, we must be prepared one teeny painting brush. And actually for the horseshoe, I think there are some kind of the brush they have the shade of that. You just put the painting gel and just to press it on the nail plates, and for the horseshoe already finished. But it is kind of there's more serious. So actually you just need to learn how to make it and just try it. It's super easy to make it because we need more choices for our nail artist designs. Although it's not a new thing, but we need to use it under basic on the fast drying dipping powder. I think most of our clients already know for our fast drying powder, the highlight is saving your time and no afraid the winter is coming and need to wait for the powders for long times to get dry. So here's the designs. It's super glossy on the surface and super easy to make it. Okay, here's the colors of black colors. We prepare the base. We must be to brush the base to your entire nail. And brush evenly is kind of the necessary steps. And dip into the black color. And brush off any excess powders. So here's the point, because for the black color is the dark color. So actually if you are doing the nails at home, I suggest for after the first layer, you need to wait around seconds and then to do another layer on. It's better to avoid your brush get dirty. But because now we are doing the tutorial and the live stream, so we are going to brush the two coats very soon. But if you're at home, if you do not want your brush get dirty easily, because the black color is kind of the dark color, so do not to do the second layer very soon. Just wait for around seconds, around 10 to 20 seconds to let the powders more dry and brush off the excess is kind of the necessary part. But don't be afraid if you find your brush get dirty, you could using the brush saver to clean the dirty brush. I think most of our customer might have the questions whether our brush get dirty or not for this super black color. It must be, but first we need to using the any lymphy white or paper towel to clean the brush first, because after just the seconds, it's super easy to clean. If not so necessary, do not using too much more the brush saver. So when the top fingers, because the top finger is the bigger one, so when you dip into the powders, you need to dip it very slightly and put your finger 45-degree angle to avoid get bumpy. I think most of our customers, they like to do the DIY nails. When you're doing the DIY nails, when you're using the left hand to brush the right hand, just to not pick so much the base. Just very thin layer. You could do it 2 to 3 coats. So every time after the colors, we must be using a brush to brush off the excess powder. As you can see, our brush already get dirty. Later we're going to show you how to use a brush saver to clean it. So if you do not want your brush get dirty easy, just after the first coat of the dark color powder, and then wait around 10 or to 20 seconds or to 30 seconds. You just let the powders, let it dry by itself first. And brush off the excess powders and then do another layer on to avoid your brush get dirty easily. For these 3 fingers, we are then making the black color. And I think some clients, they have the question when they doing the nail art by their own nails, how to avoid the bumpy or uneven. So when you pick the volume of the base, you must be to pick the suitable volume. Do not put too much base to your entire nail. And every time we must be brushed evenly. And when you dip into the color powder, you need to put your finger with angles. Normally we suggest 45-degree angles. And for our powder is smooth enough, so do not need to worry whether it will be easy to get bumpy. And for our base, because it's very thin and just very easy to control, just like the gel polish, so you do not need to worry whether the surface is easy to get bumpy or uneven. So brush the base to your entire nail and brush evenly, no matter which layer. And going to top off. So here's the brush saver. As I mentioned, if you found your brush get dirty, we must be using the brush saver to clean your dirty brush. First, if you find the lymphy white could clean your brush, then do not need to use the brush saver. But if you can clean it, just use the brush saver and put it into the brush saver bottles to shake it, and your brush will get better than the usual. Okay, after using, keep the cap tightly closed. No matter the powder or the dip glue or any kind of the nail accessories, we must be keep the cap tightly closed after using. And now we need to clean the table, and later we're going to do the filing, shaping, and the buffing for our another 6 fingers of the black color. So we take out the nail machine. Actually, if you do not have the nail machine, you could choose our dip powder accessories kit. We have one nail file that you could use it for the filing. So using the nail machine is more easier for you to do the filing. Every time we do the filing for the nail plate first and turn to the cuticle part. Because for our GH fast giant dipping powder, it's the unique formula. Until now, we did not using any activator to seal the designs or seal the powder, because our powders do not need the activator to make it dry. So here's the nail file. We're going to do the shaping. Here's the ones I told you. If you do not have the nail machine, you could use this nail file to do the filing of your nail plate. But we're using it to do the shaping. And today's our now models wearing the coffin shape. It's kind of the popular now shapes, I think. It's very suitable for this kind of the designs. So we're going to use the buffer to do the buffing. For this nail buffer, you can buy this from our dip powder accessories kit too. We have the salon quality nail tools when you're buying our dip powder accessories kit. For the nail buffer, it could use for the natural nails, and you could use it with your artificial nails during the nail art process. When you're doing the buffings, you could use both sides, both head of this kind of the nail buffer. I think most of our customers, they have the question why their nail buffing is so important. Because we want to grind the nail surface more smooth, but make it rough. And then later we're going to apply the activator and the gel and the top coat on. If you want the surface more glossy, the buffing is the kind of the necessary. And actually, if you do the nail buffing, the powders will more stick with your nails too. We need to use the fingers to hold your cuticle skin to avoid to scratch your cuticle skin. So because the dark color, we must be to make the nail hands get dirty. But if you're at home, you could to go to the washroom to wash your hand. But now we're gonna just using the brush to brush off and take out the lengthy wipe. When you're using the lengthy wipe, we must be to wipe off any excess dust from the nail plate. Okay, here's the number 2 activator. So until now, we just used the only one time of our activator. Our activator is for to make the top coat get dry and more shiny. It's not to seal the color powders. So very thin layer is enough. And for the next, we're going to use the number 3, the top. For the top, we need to use it for 2 times. When you brush the top, it's just like you brush the base to your entire nail. For the first layer, very thin layer. From the middle left to the right. But do not let the tops to get on your cuticle too. So here's the first layer. For our black, it's the super black. And actually you could do any designs based on this black colors too. So the black and the white powders is always the best choice when you're doing the elegant nail designs. So here's the another layer of the top. Super glossy. And for our top coat, it's faster than other brands on the market, the drying speed. It could be dried within around 1 minute. And super glossy. Just like the mirror, you see? On the camera, you can see this kind of the black. It's super black. For our top, it's super shiny. So the important points when you want the gel, the top coat, the surface looks more glossy, It's kind of necessary when the first layer half dry but not completely dry. Half dry but still sticky. Then apply another layer on of our gel of our top coat. So here's the number 2 deactivator for these 3 fingers. Only one time for the activator. We already changed the fingers. Here's another hand. Another 3 black colors nails. So brush only one layer of the activator. As you can see, the activator is the warranty liquid. Disappear with the air. So next, brush the top. When you brush the top, just brush evenly for each layer. We need to brush very thin layer of the top first. Don't forget the nail edge. Oh, just brush it evenly. So after seconds, return to the first fingers. As you can see, the surface a little bit matte, half dry but still sticky. We must be to apply another layer of the top immediately. Brush it from the middle left to the right. Don't forget the nail edge. Super glossy, right? So if we want more glossy nails, we must be do all process, like the shaping, filing, buffing, and every layer brush evenly. And for our top coat, it could be dried around 1 minute. It's super fast than the other dip glue on the market. So here's today's designs. The zebra stripes, did you learn how to make it? And the horseshoe. And for the black color, white color, gray color, it's very suitable for the winter. You could wear this kind of the designs, go to the prom or the parties. For this kit, it's called G651. So here's today's tutorial. Thanks for watching. Bye.